Hare Krishna. Today we will discuss on ISKCON Disciple Course, Unit 3, Lesson 10. Topic: Guru Bapu and Vani Seva. So there are two kinds of seva we can do to our spiritual master. One is Vapu Seva. Vapu Seva is related to the services to the physical body of Guru Maharaj. And Vani Seva is services to the words or instructions of Guru Maharaj. So Vapu Seva includes like washing clothes, washing Guru Maharaj's clothes and pressing the clothes, cleaning his room because all Brahmanas like cleanliness very much. So cleanliness is very important, and Guru also like those disciples who are always remain clean, because purity is the force. Clean by like outside also and inside also, mind also. So cleaning room and cleaning the toilet of Guru Maharaj and cooking prasadam for Guru. And another point is medical, taking the health care of Guru, like Guru regular there may be some regular checkup Guru needs for, like, because elderly as an elderly age, so maybe some regular 6 months checkup he needs, or sometimes he may feel some problem, face some health issues, then we must take care of that. That is also Bapu Seva. Bapu Seva is transportation, like pick up from airport or a railway station and dropping, and again transportation to different varieties of places for preaching, and arranging sitting arrangement for Guru Maharaj, or arranging the place where he is going to stay, and offering Dandavat Pranam to Guru in front of him is also Vapu Seva, and offering garland, Lord Krishna's garland to Guru is a Vapu Seva. Massaging Guru Maharaj's feet and massaging Guru Maharaj's body, like Srila Prabhupada regularly took the massage, and because it is very helpful to Srila Prabhupada, it's like relaxing, because he is too much into so much Krishna conscious activities and sleep very little. Actually he was sacrificing his rest also for us. So that's why massaging is very good service, good Bapu service, but massaging can be done only by the Prabhus to Guru, because the Mataji, so if Guru is a sannyasi or Guru is a grihastha also, but Guru is a male, so that's why Mataji should not do that. And washing feet, if Guru is coming to somebody's home, they wash the feet, is also Vapu Seva, and Prabhus do that. And Aarti also can be shown to Guru Maharaj, and stitching Guru Maharaj's cloth is also a Vapu Seva, or when you are going in sun, holding the umbrella is also like Vapu Seva. Prabhus can do that Seva. So these all are Vapu Seva. Direct service to physical body of Guru Maharaj is called Vapu Seva. And Vani Seva is like Guru Maharaj has given lectures, so if we are listening the lectures regularly is Vani Seva. The topmost Vani Seva, the very basic Vani Seva is following 4 regulative principles and doing 16 rounds sincerely is good Vani Seva. Vani Seva means actually obeying Guru Maharaj's instructions, following his words. So distributing the books, like Guru Maharaj has written some books, we are distributing, or Srila Prabhupada has written so many books, we are distributing those books, is Vani Seva. And preaching, whatever we have heard from Guru, spiritual master, whatever we have learned from Srila Prabhupada, from his books, his letters, his lectures, if we are preaching to general public, is a very good Vani Seva. And obviously reading books and distributing books is Vani Seva. And transcribing the lecture, Guru has given lecture and we have typed that lecture and published, that is a transcribing lectures, Vani Seva. Asking questions, inquiring, and then whatever answer we are getting, we are implementing, that is Vani Seva. So Guru Maharaj has given so many wonderful quotes, and we are designing those quotes are Vani Seva. So these all are Vani Seva. So now we need to know which service is greater. So this shloka is from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya-lila 22.54. साधु संग सर्वशास्त्रे काय लव मात्र साधु संग सर्व सिद्धि हाय. Lava matra, love is very little actually. 1 second is called 1 nimish. So 1 second is divided by 11 is equal to 1 lava. So how means what, we cannot even measure that. That much also, if one can do sadhu sangha, he will get benefit. So the verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. So while we are serving Guru, we need to take care of something like, if one's Guru who is of different gender, we need to take care of something. For example, if Guru is in a male body, so the female should take care of something like they should be in proper dress, decent dress, and Guru will like if they are always in Vaishnava dress. At least in front of Guru, everyone should be in Vaishnava dress, sari. And by age of 12-13, maybe gopi dress. But after that, Mataji should wear sari. And in front of Guru, like we are in a tour and Guru is in front and everybody is sitting like that, and some Mataji feeling like sleepy, then she should not lie down in front of Guru. So that is very important. Some etiquettes we should maintain in front of Guru if different gender. And we also should it is also as pleasing to Guru when we give equal respect or more respect even, so that to his god brothers and god sisters, he will become very happy. Like Srila Prabhupada's all disciples are the god brothers and god sisters. Like from the same Guru, if we are belonging, then we will be called god brothers, god sisters. So Guru become very happy when like somebody Guru is coming with his god brother and god sister, and because he is our Guru, we are giving very utmost attention to our Guru. We are offering garland, we are arranging the separate prasadam for him. But who accompanied him, his god brother and god sister, we didn't took much care. Like for example, we are telling, okay, your prasadam is in that place, and Guru is we are taking him separately and not giving attention to his god brother, god sister. That will not please our Guru also. So we must take care of Guru's god brothers and god sisters also. And we should know that Guru's family members, how we need to deal with. If Guru is a grihastha especially, so he will have a wife whom we will call Guru Mata, and he may have son and daughter. So everybody, we should actually offer respect as Guru's family, equally as Guru Maharaj we are respecting, because it's his family. But we no need to wash the feet of his son. So this is the etiquette. And actually when Guru is a grihastha Guru, generally Mataji cannot offer any vapu seva. So Guru, like she can offer many vapu seva like cooking and like cleaning room, etc., but cannot massage directly the feet or like that. The Prabhus can do, but to Guru Mata, Matajis can do the feet massage and body massage, or fanning Guru Mata, or even washing her feet if she allows, and like that we can do. And with the Guru, that it is very important that Mataji should not go alone to meet a sannyasi Guru especially. And grihastha Guru also she can meet in the presence of Guru Mata, but the Guru and disciple should not alone at solitary place. This is a rule. So this is actually said by scriptures. So this is very important, but especially when we go to meet a sannyasi guru, then we should go with our, if Mataji, then with husband or with some other Matajis or other devotees accompanying. That is very important. So here we can see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying in Antalila chapter 4 to Sanatan Goswami, "My dear Sanatana, although you are the deliverer of the entire universe, and although even the demigods and great saints are purified by touching you, it is characteristic of a devotee to observe and perfect and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Like when marriage happens, that time a normal girl also looks very beautiful because she is wearing so many ornaments. So for a Vaishnava looks very beautiful when they are wearing the ornaments of Vaishnava etiquette. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loved seeing Sanatan Goswami, who is a pure devotee, and by touching him, actually anybody can become pure devotee. See, the pure devotee purifies when we even have darshan of them. For example, in this bhajan also, Vaishnava bhajan, it is said that Gangara parasa hoite pashate pavan darshane pavitra karo e tumar gun. When you touch Ganga, after that only you will get purified. But only seeing the devotee, a pure devotee, we can get purified. So if seeing is so much purifying, if we touch devotee, then how much we will get purified. So that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, that by touching you, like whole universe can be purified. Even demigods and great saints will get purified. So this is a characteristic of a devotee, to observe and protect the Vaishnava etiquette. Maintenance of Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament of a devotee. If one transgresses the laws of etiquette, people make fun of him, and thus he is vanquished in both this world and the next. For example, we are putting very beautiful tilaka, but we are drinking tea and coffee, and we are not following four regulative principles. So everybody will make laugh. Oh, he is just pretending, she is just pretending. What she is saying and doing is different. So we must maintain the Vaishnava etiquette, and otherwise our both life now and next life will also be vanquished. By observing the etiquette, you have satisfied my mind. If we want to please our Guru, if we want to please Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, then we must observe the Vaishnava etiquette. It's very important. So here in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 34th shloka, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninastattvadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So it is very important that we must approach a guru, and we must ask the spiritual doubt, and we must inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. What kind of service? Both Vapu Seva and Vani Seva. When Guru is present, we should do first class Vapu Seva to Guru, and when Guru is not present, then we can do first class Vani Seva to him. So here we can discuss on the inquiring what kind of questions. We should inquire submissively. We should never ever ask Guru Maharaj any questions in the challenging mood. Then we are fail as a disciple. That is not a proper etiquette. And We should not even like Guru Maharaj is giving some answers, and we should not interrupt, or we should not ask, like many people they think, okay, Guru might give some material benefits to us because he is so powerful. Yes, he is so powerful, he can take you Krishna, he can give you Krishna, take you back to Godhead, and he can give anything, any boon. But that is not Guru's business to engage more in this material world. So he is not interested in materialistic activities. So asking Guru this kind of questions, I am giving an example, like, Guru Maharaj, my business is going very down, can you please give some solution how I can progress in my business? This is a wrong question, wrong inquiry. Okay, Guru Maharaj, I am going to buy a car, and what kind of car I should buy, like this. Or questions like, okay, I have no son or no children, how I can get that, any yagya you can do for me, or any mantra you can give me so that I can get a child. This is not a proper question. We should not ask any material questions that shows our material attachment to money, to the our belonging things that is material, like that. For a material gain, actually we should not go to or approach a guru. Material gains are given by the demigods, but Guru's business is not that. Guru's business is to give pure to give pure devotion to you, to train you in pure devotional services so that you can go back to Godhead. So asking this kind of material questions are actually not Krishna saying here. What kind of questions we should ask? We should ask, Krishna is saying, inquire from him submissively, in a submissive way, not with any challenging attitude and with some ego and I know everything attitude. No, that is not good. So in a submissive way and very humble way, and ask the spiritual questions. Yes, any questions, like for example, Guru Maharaj, I want to preach in my area, so can you tell me how I should progress? Or Guru Maharaj, I am chanting, but I am not able to chant 16 rounds, please bless me, or please tell me how I can do that. Or if even for children, if you asking, like, Guru Maharaj, I want my children to come into Krishna consciousness, but they are not interested, so how I can help them? This is a very good question, because mother and father is worried about their children going back to Godhead. Very nice questions. Or if somebody is asking material questions, like, okay, my daughter is not able to get married, so can you please help us in that, or give some boon, or give some something like that so that she can get married. No, that is a material questions. But because you are very disturbed, she is not get married, she is 40 of age, but you wanting that she must get married. In that case, you are very much disturbed, then you can ask these questions like, Guru Maharaj, I am very much disturbed because my in my family condition, or my some problem maybe in family, because of that your bhakti is affected. So you can ask that I am very much disturbed with this situation, I am not able to accept, and for that reason my mind is always meditating on that part and not on Krishna. So how I can bring my mind into Krishna, and I can progress in devotional service? This is a good question. So if any material condition is affecting our mind and we are not able to concentrate in bhakti, and to concentrate in bhakti genuinely we are searching some solutions, that question is good question. So this kind of questions we can ask to Guru. So those who listen to the Bhagavatam may put questions to the speaker in order to elicit a clear meaning, but this should not be done in a challenging spirit. One must submit questions with a great regard for the speaker and the subject matter. So for subject matter also we should have great faith, and for the speaker also we should have great faith. If we have no faith on speaker, we will not able to take anything whatever he has said. We cannot realize, that will not reach our heart. So this is also the way recommended in Bhagavad Gita. One must learn the transcendental subject by submissive oral reception from the right sources. See, 5000 years ago, Vyasadeva wrote Ved, Upanishad, Puran, like that. So Vyasadeva, actually there was one Ved, Vyasadeva divided into four to simplify it. Then 18 Puranas he divided further, 108 Upanishads, then Mahabharata. So many he has given to just simplify the things. But then also he was not satisfied. Then his guru came, Narad Muni, and told, you have bewildered people writing so many scriptures actually. So now you write for what you have actually took incarnation. Then at last, in a mature stage, like a mature stage, a writer is writing something, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam has everything. It's about Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna himself. So here we can know that that 5000 years ago, when Vyasadeva saw that Kali Yuga people memory power is so low, so he wrote all these scriptures, especially Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. But before that also, from eternal time, like God eternally exists, we eternally exist, so scriptures are also eternally exist, and they are coming by Shruti. Like when Shukdev Goswami, from Shukdev Goswami, the all saints heard, when Sutta Goswami, they could remember everything. That in Kali Yuga people can't do that. So here what we can do, that books are available, okay, but what Srila Prabhupada says, that Srila Prabhupada's guru told to Srila Prabhupada that unless you listen from me these books, you cannot understand. So we have to listen from guru every day. We should listen the lectures of guru. We need to listen the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, then we can understand, and from the right sources, like experienced devotees who are practicing very nicely, genuinely, from the right source, who are very authentic. So therefore the sages addressed the speaker Sutta Goswami with great respect in Naimisharanya. This is from purport Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.5. So when we are inquiring from Guru, we must be Jigyasu. In Bhagavatam class or in Bhagavad Katha, three people progress in devotional service actually. One who is giving lecture, one who is listening with great faith and attentively, and one who is asking questions submissively. These three people progress. So one must be Jigyasu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science. Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam, related to transcendental knowledge. Because there are, if you want to know some material knowledge, our whole world is telling on it. So the word Uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge, transcendental knowledge. In Upadesamrit, purport, verse 5, Srila Prabhupada is saying, Tama means the darkness of this material world. Actually, whatever study we do, even maybe we are PhD in material subject, that is actually called as per our scriptures as avidya. Original vidya is actually study the scriptures, because that is giving us knowledge not of the darkness but the light, that is Lord Krishna. So the darkness of this material world is called tama, and Utta means transcendental. So generally people are very interested in inquiring about mundane subject matters, but when one has lost such interest and is simply interested in transcendental subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. So even if we are having some good money and good education and good everything, we should practice Yukta Vairagya, means we should plus all these things in Krishna's service. Then gradually we will lose the interest on the mundane subject matters, and we will be more interested in transcendental knowledge. And a person who losing this interest on material subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. So what is importance of Guru's Vani Seva? Between the Vani Seva and Vapu Seva, Vani Seva is considered more important because Vani Seva is always present with us. Sometimes when Guru is traveling all over world and preaching, that time he is not with the disciple all the time, right? So disciple cannot do Vapu Seva, but at that time also disciple can serve the Vani 24 hours. And sometimes when Guru leave this world, means not in a prakat avastha, then also disciple can serve his Vani. So, although according to the material vision, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada passed away from his material world on the last day of December 1936, I still consider His Divine Grace to be always present with me by His Vani, His words. Srila Prabhupada is saying that Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada's Guru left his body in 1936, but Srila Prabhupada is saying that I always got my Guru present with me in as a Vani, as instructions, and that gave me strength, because Prabhupada is following Guru's instructions and Guru is always present with him. So there are two ways of association, Vani and by Vapu Seva. So Vani means words and Vapu means physical presence. Physical presence is sometimes appreciable and sometimes not, but Vani continues to exist eternally. So physical presences sometimes happen, sometimes not, and many times, like once in a year, we can get chance to meet our Guru. So it's very difficult to always stay with a Guru, or because Guru is traveling. So Vani but exists eternally. Therefore, we must take advantage of the Vani, not the physical presence. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Antalila, the Srila Prabhupada said one example, like for Bhagavad Gita, for example, the Vani of Lord Krishna. Although Krishna was personally present 5,000 years ago and is no longer physically present now, he went back to his Golaka Dham. From a materialistic point of view, Krishna is not present, but actually Krishna is present everywhere. But still, we can't see Krishna now like 5,000 years people could see. But still, Bhagavad Gita continues, and we still can read Krishna's words and follow his words. So this is Vani Seva. So for personal association with the Guru is concerned, as far Prabhupada is saying that I was only with my Guru Maharaja 4 or 5 times. Just imagine, like Srila Prabhupada met in his whole life his Guru, whom he loved so much, only for 4 or 5 times. So, but Prabhupada is saying, but I have never left his association, not even for a moment. Continuously he was meditating on his Guru, his instructions. So he was always with his Guru. Like gopis always meditating on Krishna, so they are always associating with Krishna. So as disciples should be like that they should always meditate on Guru's instructions. Prabhupada is saying that because I am following his instructions, I have never felt any separation. There are some of my godbrothers, Prabhupada is giving example of his godbrothers that here in India, who had constant personal association with Guru Maharaja, but who are neglecting his orders. This letter is written by Srila Prabhupada to Satadhyana, Kolkata, February 20, 1972. So he is saying that my godbrothers who were residing with Guru, but they were neglecting his orders, Guru's orders. So this is not good. For example, your child, your one daughter or son, your children, they are doing very nice Vapu Seva to you, but they are not listening to your words. So it's very painful. So Prabhupada is giving an example in this letter that this is just like the bug who is sitting on the lap of the king. And he may be very puffed up, the bug may be very puffed up by his position. Oh, I am sitting on the lap of the king. But all he can succeed in doing is biting the king, sucking the blood of the king. So he will give pain to the king, though he is sitting on the lap. Personal association is not so important as association through service. So service is more important. If we are staying with Guru but we are not following Guru's instructions and we are arguing, we are challenging Guru, it gives pain to Guru. So better we should humbly be engaged in his service. So this is very pleasing to Guru. So Srila Prabhupada wrote one letter to Uddhava, Boston, May 3rd, 1968 on separation, transcendental bliss. Srila Prabhupada is saying, please be happy in separation. I am separated from my Guru Maharaja since 1936, but I am always with him. So long I work according to his direction. So we should all work together for satisfying Lord Krishna. In that way, the feelings of separation will transform into transcendental bliss. So actually in material world, separation means very painful. For example, one husband wife, they are separated, they love them each other very much, but they separated, they will feel so much pain in materialistic point of view. But in spiritual world, actually material world is exactly opposite to spiritual world. So spiritual world, separation even gives more pleasure. If we consider the pleasure one hill, then the top of the hill is actually pleasure on separation. That's why to give that pleasure, Krishna left gopis in the Vrindavan, and in the Viraha Bhava they enjoyed more. And for that, to giving that pleasure, Lord Krishna, there was a curse by Durvasa Muni. So 1 year Lord Krishna and Rukmini Devi was separated, and Rukmini Devi also got that pleasure of separation in this Viraha Bhav in spiritual life. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that thing, that so you will become very much blissful. So if you serve my words, means Guru's words, we need to serve, and we should work together, all the devotees together with love, trust and cooperation, and by this way we can satisfy Lord Krishna, our Guru, and in that way the feelings of separation will transform into transcendental bliss. So what gopis did, gopis sit together and always discussing about Krishna, crying for Krishna, so that transform into transcendental bliss. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is saying that please be happy in separation, because always physical presence is not available. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.